Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait. Visit 21st Amendment Tavern, located in the Germantown neighborhood at the corner of Burnett and Shelby. 21st Amendment Tavern has great drinks and amazing food from head chef Andrea Estes. Also at the tavern, the Metal Forge Live is featured with doors at 9 and shows at 10 and just $5. Head on out to 21st Amendment Tavern. Welcome to the Metal Forge. I'm your host, Mark Jackson, and I'm going to be pounding out the best regional metal for you tonight. If you're new to this show, pick up your hammer and get down with some of these featured guests. Got any questions or comments? Send them to metalforgeradio@gmail.com. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Metal Forge, and I'm your host, Mark Jackson. Thank you all for tuning in today. It is high noon on March the 6th. And my guest today will be Brian Omer of the Stonecutters, Louisville metal legends. And by the time you are hearing this, they will be actually out on the road going to their first date on their March Radness tour, which will be in Two Rivers, Wisconsin at Whiskey D's. Then they're going to be going all the way back up until March the 15th, ending in Brooklyn, New York at St. Vitus. That's going to be a really cool fucking tour because it's going to have Toxic Ruin and Lich King on there with them. And I think they're flip-flopping who's headlining and closing those nights, which is super fucking cool. But before I get into all of that, I do want to sit there and I want to say the audio quality is good. You can hear everything that we're going to say, but closer to the end of the interview, the dickhead baristas at Starbucks started banging shit around just to be dicks. So, because I think they wanted us out of there so they could close. We were within their hours of operation, but, you know, it's just one of those things that kind of sucks. But, so yeah, you know, this past week we've had some crazy weather, you know, like in Nashville, tornadoes had went through, and actually one of the damaged places the building was demolished was the basement east, and, you know, there was a record store, Grimey's, that was there and everything. And Metallica at one time had recorded a live album from there. And, you know, it's Nashville legend, apparent, you know, to play there. So that sucks. That's another place gone, but they have said that they will be back no matter what, which is awesome. And all of the staff was safe as well. But yeah, looking through Loudwire, there's some interesting news articles. Apparently, Saliva, Powerman 5000 are going to be doing a new metal revival tour with Edema, Andrew W. Boss, and Flaw. It looks like it's a club tour, as opposed to like any kind of amphitheaters or anything like that. It's the Vogue in Indianapolis, starting the tour out in June 25th, going all the way to July 26th in Laconia, New Hampshire at Granite State Music Hall. So yeah, if you're into new metal, those bands, check it out, I guess. That's cool. Just kind of a thing. Apparently, Ghost is having a new lead singer, Papa Emeritus IV, introduced. Cardinal Copia is out, so that'll be interesting. But the real meat and potatoes of this is I wanted to do a review for the Ordinary Man album from Ozzy, and listening to the album, it's definitely interesting, to say the least. And I guess what I'm trying to say is nothing really surprises me with it. It was exactly what I wanted it to. It was exactly what I figured it would be, and it was exactly what it more than likely was going to be, with Ozzy writing and recording an album in 2020. I'm not saying it's a bad album. I'm not saying it's a good album either. It's an Ozzy album, especially in the later part of his career, especially Down to Earth, Black Rain, Scream, and this. It's definitely one of those. It's definitely an album that it's weird to me, is all I can say. Musically, it's not great. Musically, it's not bad either. It's more of an indifferent album. There are good songs. There are bad songs, in my opinion. But the biggest takeaway I got from this was the last two tracks featured. The 10th track on the album, which is It's a Raid, features Post Malone, which I kind of figured, because Ozzy working with his producer and the involvement of Kelly getting those two together, I thought that it was going to be, I didn't expect to see him so prominent on this album, with one song being featured on and then having an actual song of his that features Ozzy. It seems like they just kind of piggybacked him on to get him to sell 1 million records, because everybody knows that Ozzy's going to sell 1 million records because it's Ozzy. That could be a little far-fetched and an unpopular opinion on my part, but I own that opinion. That's just, it's like I said, it's not a great album. It's not a bad album. It's just an indifferent album. And honestly, to me, there's really only 3 really good songs on the album, and that is the title track, Ordinary Man, which features Elton John, Under the Graveyard, and Scary Little Green Men. Everything else on the album, to me, is pretty well a throwaway track. But, I was still going to go see him live, because it's Ozzy, despite any issues I've ever had with his PR, but, that sucks. But it's part of the game, I suppose. But if you like Ozzy, definitely check it out. You probably won't be disappointed. Not as bad as, I guess, Black Rain was disappointing. Sorry, that was probably a deep cut there. If you're looking for the Blizzard of Oz, if you're looking at Bark at the Moon, or even, like Osmosis, this is not going to be that album for you. If you're looking for any of those, just skip it. If you're looking for, Millennium Era Ozzy, like I said, Down to Earth, Black Rain, Scream, this will be what you want, because it's more along that same line. I don't know, I can't even say that Black Rain would be a good representation, because that's a different era for Ozzy. To me, it's a little bit darker, but I digress. But if you like Ozzy, if you are a nut for completing discographies, which I kind of am, get it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you are, I think it was $11 at Walmart, so you're not going to be out much money. And yeah, you might like a few of the tracks on there, so definitely get it if you like Ozzy. So before we get into this interview with Brian, thank you to everybody who subscribes on Patreon. Thank you to our business sponsors. Thank you to, you fans, you listeners, because without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do the show, and it's fucking awesome, and it's really fun to do. And I like putting out new episodes every week and turning people on to new musicians, new bands, whatever you want to say, new artists, because it's totally fucking cool, and that's what matters is, that to me anyways. So, keep on keeping on and keep tuning in, and we're getting better and better each week, and I appreciate you guys. So, okay, so here's something I'm interested in doing. I want your old local music. So if you have bands from the 80s and 90s and way early 2000s, like no later than like 2004, if you have any kind of metal, no matter if it's thrash, death, whatever, 80s, 90s, and up until like 04, send me some info at metalforgeradio@gmail.com. Share some stuff with me, because I want to look into some of these older things. Okay? And kind of talk to those people as well. See where they're at now. So like I said, anything 80s, 90s, till about 2004, send it to metalforgeradio@gmail.com. And we will do our best here to get in contact with people and maybe do some follow-up interviews. Here is Sign of the Pentagram by Stonecutters.
The way you walk is thorny, through no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the river enters the sea. So tears run to a predestined end. Find peace for a moment, my son.
All right, so I'm sitting here at Starbucks with Brian Omer from the Stonecutters. Brian, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, thanks.
This is your first time on the show. I played you all several times when it was on the FM deal. So tell everybody out there about Stonecutters.
Stonecutters have been together since about 05, 06. We've had some lineup changes. People ask us, I'll say the name did come from a Simpsons episode.
It did?
Where Homer became honorary member of the Stonecutters. Actually, he was the leader.
Yeah, because he had the birthmark.
He had the birthmark of the hammers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
I have tattooed on me as well.
Absolutely, dude. That's awesome. And you had a shirt of that as well.
Yeah, Jeff Gaither drew a killer Homer Simpson Stonecutters, like just like the episode, except Gaitherish.
Oh yeah,
stitched and bloody and stuff. It's kind of actually
the
Gigi.
zombie.
It's a Gigi Homer, Gigi Allen.
Yeah, definitely.
Meets Homer Simpson thing. He had on the robe and all, and I don't know. It's kind of gotten to be a little iconic for us.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeff's actually alumni of the show. He's been on before, so
awesome.
Good
He's
stuff.
done quite a few shirts for us, a few different designs.
And he just did your all's recent EP, the 7-inch.
He did, yeah. He did the Zombies for the Living Dead, which is a tribute to Return of the Living Dead.
Right.
It has the sample at the beginning, which they blow up Louisville at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
If you haven't seen the movie.
Spoiler alert.
Right. I just gave away the ending. But,
it's over now. I mean, it came out in like 1982 or something, didn't it? So I think it's safe at this point.
Yeah.
So you've got how many albums? Is it 5 albums in an EP or
5 full lengths and an EP? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
self-titled, which we also call The Death of Me, Christ Hammer, Creatio Ex Nihil, Blood Moon, and Carved in Time is the latest full length, and then the Living Dead EP.
Nice. I'm pretty sure I have all of those except for the EP.
Awesome. I appreciate you, Mark. That's awesome.
Do you all, with as many albums and songs that are out there, do you have a favorite song you have ever written?
Favorite song? I mean, I really like The Living Dead. I think the last thing we did. I like to think if they get better as they go.
Right,
So,
and it's a creative process. To me, I've always thought that you can't get this album without this album.
Yeah,
without going through
it's somewhat
through its
steps. The band is really strong. Like the members I'm playing with are fantastic right now.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody else who is all currently in Stonecutters?
Nick Burks is the other guitar player singer.
Right.
Kevin Redford has been with me for 15 years, I bet now, on bass. And Christopher J. Smith is on drums here, and he's fantastic. So,
and this is the lineup that has done the last 2 full-length albums. And
Chris did the EP, and he's been touring with us and playing with us for about 3 or 4 years. And he does all the material. The Carved in Time, we had a kind of a temporary drummer there, stuck with us for a little bit, but he did the album, and then we've had Chris ever since.
Okay. You know, when musicians write, and I mention this all the time because, and it's like I have to preface this, is when we all write songs, when it's in the infancy stage, what's the craziest working title you've ever given to a song?
Wow. Revere What Thou Hast Burnt. Is one of our song titles. That's a pretty crazy one. That's on Creatio Ex Nihil. I mean, the song Creatio Ex Nihil is creation through destruction, basically. Kind of like just demolishing everything and starting anew is basically kind of what that means in Latin. Creation through annihilation. I don't know. I try to get fucked up song titles and we kind of try to get out there as possible.
Provoking thought.
Yeah.
Which is what matters,
And we keep it dark, and the name is kind of from Simpsons Happy. I don't want to say happy, but we turned it into something else.
Right, because you all do have a pretty heavy tone, and
our stuff's pretty melancholy. We don't really write a lot of happy stuff. It's all pretty dark, bit sad at times, and I don't know. The crazier the better, and We like to delve into. We're not a black metal band, but we do like to keep it dark.
I try to steer away from the genre thing, and then I know this is like the Metal Forge, but I've had punk bands, I've had artists, I've had rock bands, I've had metal bands on the show. I've even played a country song or two at a time because it's heavy in thought. Mm-hmm. So if you were to stick yourself in any, I know I hate that, but if you were to say, would you be closer to Death or closer to Megadeth?
Okay. Actually, I like both, so that's kind of a tough question.
So, because I can see parts of both, depending on what I listen to.
I would definitely say we're metal, but we kind of are influenced by all over the board. Like, I mean, I grew up playing hardcore.
Right.
And I don't want to say metalcore. It wasn't
metalcore at the time.
I mean, we were into agnostic front and stick with all Cro-Mags kind of style before the metalcore, even before Hatebreed came along.
Right.
So, and they kind of made it more metal and stuff, and we were kind of mixing a little bit of Sabbath with the hardcore back then. And so I think geographically where we are, we kind of take from west and east coast, south, north. I love the Detroit scene. I love the Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And everything in between. So we mesh it a bit. But like I said, I would definitely say it's metal, but I don't want to say it's straight death metal, and it's not just hardcore. It's kind of this big ball of, we love grindcore. We like black metal, and kind of mesh it together, and because we have like acoustic parts which are not really in hardcore.
No, not at all, really.
So we get these eerie acoustic interludes mixed with fast, slow. We like to change it up and just be ourselves, do our own thing.
And I think you all have with doing that, seeing you all live when I have, you've played with some pretty diverse bands. You've played with some blues bands before, and it works. Yeah.
I don't even know.
You play so many shows, though. You all go on tour.
I do remember we joked about it. It's funny, and I think it was the same week we played with Deicide and Nashville Pussy. 2 different shows. So it was kind of bizarre. But honestly, the Deicide show was a little more up our alley, and it was kind of better, well received. But we'll play with rock and metal and punk and stuff. And
and I think that's what
scared.
It's about.
Yeah.
If you could have written an album or song from anybody else in history, what would it be?
If I could have written another song?
If you could have written a song from somebody else, what would it be?
Oh, God. I'd have to maybe say Orion by Metallica. I like a lot of stuff off Rust in Peace. I mean, I'm thinking of like artists here, personally. I mean, my top 3 bands that are influenced, I would say, are Neurosis, Death. I kind of say this usually, and Iron Maiden.
Nice.
So it may be Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner or something. Phantom of the Opera. I love playing these songs just in general.
Yeah.
So I would like to say it'd be cool if I wrote that.
So you mentioned Rhyme and you mentioned Phantom. So are you a Deano fan or a Dickinson fan?
I like them both a lot, but if I had to choose,
it's Blaze Bailey, isn't it?
I don't hate on him either.
No,
actually.
not at all.
But
because he actually has Klansman is a great song.
Yeah, man, I love the way Bruce sings Klansman.
I saw it this past year.
Same with Sign of the Cross.
Oh yeah.
He sings those songs like he was meant to. He was kind of meant to sing those, I feel.
Right.
Because his versions on the live stuff are amazing.
Well, and it's probably a thing too where Steve probably wrote the lyrics to him. So,
right, true.
Because he writes most of their lyrics.
Bruce, I think that shows Bruce's character, that he's not afraid.
Oh no,
to sing this, even like the song Iron Maiden or
Phantom of the Opera.
He's like, yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah,
no worries.
And I think he does killer jobs on those too.
Definitely. It's crazy. I was watching YouTube today, flipping through, and Deano, he had just played Phantom of the Opera, sang it. This was 2012. He's way out of Iron Maiden at that point.
Oh, yeah.
And he's saying it, and at the end of the set, somebody yells, Bruce Dickinson. And he went to about a 3-minute tirade of, fuck you, I'm not Bruce Dickinson.
Wow.
I'm not opera. He kind of shut him down pretty quick, and the guy was like, I'm sorry, yelling from the crowd. I think the guy didn't mean any offense.
No.
But
it's one of those things
he's heard that too many times.
Oh, yeah.
He reacted pretty much like, kind of a little bit like, we're not doing that.
Right. And
he was like, this is running free. And then he went into his Iron Maiden, another Iron Maiden that he's sang on. So he's like, I'm keeping it punk.
Right.
You know,
the way it was intended.
Yeah.
He probably shut them down so quick, probably because it's the, playing in a local band, or, I say local band, regional band.
He felt offended by it.
Right. It's the Freebird thing.
Right.
Somebody yells out Freebird. It's bullshit. I get it. So why do you play music? What is it for you that music does for you?
Everything. I started at a young age. My grandmother played piano. My mom played piano. I started on piano. And then my brother he was about 14 or 15. I was about 9 or 10. He had started playing guitar, and I was like, I want to do that. And I started taking lessons with him. Like, we would do back-to-back lessons. He would do one, I would do one.
Right.
And I would like to think I got a little better than him. He still plays, and he's pretty good. But I took it on more, practiced harder, and I remember like coming home from school around middle school, freshman year maybe, and I sat down and learned the whole Master of Puppets album. And I just kind of went from there. I was already kind of learning scales, and my guitar teacher didn't know anything about Metallica at the time.
Oh, no.
But I kind of...
Because that was underground then.
It was. I remember in high school, there was like 4 or 5 of us that were into Metallica. And now they're like, everybody knows about them. This was like right when Cliff died, right when they got... right before around the time Injustice for All came out. Okay. I was like enormous fan of Metallica. I'll be honest. And it kind of grew into that, and I kept going. And their skills at the time, Metallica skills, were actually good. Right. People will harp on Lars pretty bad.
Yeah,
like Kirk too. But at that time, the songwriting was amazing.
Oh, right.
And and Iron Maiden too. I was really into Iron Maiden as a kid.
Right, and that was right around the Somewhere in Time era.
Power Slave.
Yeah,
I guess it was more Somewhere in Time. I was big into them. It started around Number of the Beast.
Right.
So I was into Bruce. That's why if you ask Bruce or Diano, I would have to say Peace of Mind, Number of the Beast, a tad over the first 2. I know people are going to take offense to that.
Hey.
But I love the first 2. It's pretty equal, but Bruce just he was what they needed to get into heavy metal royalty.
Oh, absolutely.
For them.
Yeah, very much so.
And Diano, he was, I don't know, Bruce just kind of took it to the next level.
And then plus they shifted out and took Nico on as well at the same time Bruce came in, so...
I also always loved the dual guitar thing with like Maiden and Metallica and Slayer. And I've always kind of done the 2 guitar with my own Victim, Jeff Toy and all.
Right.
I've always liked having another guitar do harmonies. Judas Priest.
Oh, very much so. What inspires your music, typically? You said a minute ago that it was usually dark and, sometimes sad, but you don't write a lot of happy songs. So I know that's a broad question, but if you were able to pinpoint any certain thing, what inspires you to write?
What thing inspires? Depends on movies with lyrics. I actually read a lot. That inspires lyrically. I go to a show or 2 a week. I do the Metal Mondays where I'm seeing live music, and actually it's been inspiring for me, to see another band go at it real hard. And last night I saw Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, and his guitar playing is fantastic. He's great. He played piano, he sings, his voice is kind of a little rough, but that was inspiring. different things. I mean, being on the road, like we've been touring like mad, and I'm seeing a lot of. We go to museums and we try to get a lot out of it.
Right.
You know?
So it's not all just
drink
and play a show and sleep in the van. Or
I like for it to be a big learning experience, you know?
Right.
I mean, I like to see neat things. Before we even go to the city, I'll look up things that I've kind of wanted to see in that town, like Pittsburgh. We go to Carnegie. We've done that twice. Museum, Natural History. It's phenomenal. It's huge. And Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. We checked that out. And different things inspire me.
So, when you do quick shot tours, and a quick shot where it might be like 14 dates, 14 shows
like around that.
Do you try to plan a day or two here and there between certain things so you can spend, like, especially if it's a new city or anything?
Yeah, usually we like for it to be free, but Carnegie, some of these museums will pay if it's a big thing, and we've come a long way out there.
The $900 price tag at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you get everything with it.
Right. I know some of the drives in California, West Coast, were absolutely just jaw-dropping.
Oh, yeah.
And it just almost makes you reevaluate existing.
I always thought it was interesting coming back from California through, like, Utah and stuff like that.
Utah's beautiful. The north up there. Really, the south coming down, like New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada.
Love it.
Southern California. It's probably my favorite. It's unbelievable. Every like Utah's got its awesomeness too.
100 miles between exits,
right?
with habitation.
Really, some drive like Indiana and stuff, which I love playing in some parts of Indiana, but some drives, Kansas can be.
Oh, don't get me started on Kansas.
A little flat, boring, same thing.
Topeka is the land that time forgot.
Yeah.
There is no 24-hour road service or nothing.
Oh, wow.
Van broke down on our tour, and I had to wait on the highway until like 9 the next morning.
Right.
And it broke down at 11 o'clock at night.
Jesus. There's been some drives that have been just spreads of nothingness for hours and hours. It'll be like,
and it's Kansas and Nebraska and South Dakota if you've ever went through there. So,
right.
Do you have a favorite city or venue to perform in?
I mean, I probably played the most at Max in Lansing, Michigan, Max Bar, and that's always been really good to us. We played small fest there. I mean, it's
not like this one. We've got about 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it's kind of like Uncle Pleasant's New Vintage size.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I've just been going there since the band has started. And that's always fun. There's certain cities that have been good to us. Actually, Boston was pretty good. We're hitting that up next month again. Louisville, we always draw fantastic.
Right.
In our hometown. Got, Indianapolis, Cincy, Texas, we've always done pretty good. We hit Texas, yeah.
Texas loves the metal. They really do. No matter.
They do.
Almost, I mean, you can go anywhere. It's Houston.
Kind of, the more south, the more they like it.
The heavier they get.
They want it. They're ready for it.
Very much so. One more question before I start the rapid fire deal here. If you could have played any major concert from days gone past, what would it be?
If I could have played any major concert,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, we've been lucky to open up for most of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
Obituary, like I said, Deicide, Anthrax, Squar a few times. Yeah. We just did a little run with Goat Horror.
Nice.
We did like 3 shows with them. That was fun. We did a few with Guar.
Right.
I mean, I really can't complain. I mean, one of the best concerts I ever saw was Clash of the Titans, so maybe I'd have to say that.
Yeah. That was
Slayer,
pretty
Anthrax,
bad.
Megadeth on their monumental albums, Rust in Peace, Since It's the Time, Season of the Abyss. But I was like 15 years old.
Oh,
so.
yeah, so...
But those Expo 5 shows, we got to play some big
We
big
did
bands
the
there.
Anthrax thing together on that one.
That's right.
So that was super fun.
Anthrax, Testament, Death Angel.
That's right.
Yeah. That
And
was great.
That was fun times.
I'll never forget.
And I was shocked to find that, I was taller than Scott Ian. And if
Oh, he
anybody
sure
out
is.
there knows me, I'm not a tall guy.
I've got kind of a funny story with Anthrax. It was when we played with them. John Bush was with them
Oh, wow.
at Coyotes, and I actually got ripped.
So that was a victim show then.
No, this was we didn't get to play with them. I was just
You went to.
I was at an Anthrax show. I got annihilated. I'll admit it. I was in the pit, ruling the pit, and I got a meet and greet afterwards. And it was the one time I would say I made an ass of myself in front of a band, and it wasn't. It was more super fan Anthrax. I love you guys. Scott Ian was like, "I'm out of here. Who is this guy?" Da da da. But John Bush kind of laughed it off and gave me a hug. But I learned a lesson. I was younger.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy. But when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I just ran my mouth. I was kind of getting mouthy loud in front of Anthrax, but it was like all good. I mean,
So that would probably be the answer to the Spinal Tap question.
yeah, that was a spot. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking they were hanging out with Dimebag. I'm sure Dimebag got ripped and loud and crazy, and I was at that level of drunkenness and
Right.
having a good time. But maybe I went a little overboard. I did all the talking.
Oh, yeah. I get it.
It was kind of funny.
I actually have one of my band's CDs autographed by them.
Oh my God.
That's even better.
That's funny. Nice.
Okay, so let's rapid fire some questions here because the coffee shop is soon closing.
Yeah.
You have a favorite film?
Favorite film? I like Return of the Living Dead a lot. Black Sabbath, the movie.
Definitely.
Big fan of that one. I mean, I like 80s movies like The Jerk, Meatballs, Bill Murray, Steve Martin kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I could go on. I'm a big horror movie. I'm weird. I like a lot of silent Lon Chaney films. I had 3 tattoos of them.
Really?
Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback, Quasimodo, and London After Midnight, which is a lost film.
Nice.
They just have stills from that movie.
Wow.
So I'm a big movie buff. I like that stuff.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
Do you have an ultimate jam?
Ultimate Jam?
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the song Dechristianized by Vital Remains that Glenn Benton sings on. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's like Yngwie playing death metal and
Wow.
meets Deicide. That's an incredible song. I don't know, probably an Iron Maiden tune. I have a lot of jams. Hardcore, I've been listening to Sick of It All again, and I really like a lot of their songs and the energy, the first Cro-Mags, and we used to work at Ear Ecstasy for 7 years, so I delved into some.
Yeah, you
wild
all were the
stuff.
forefront.
I was the metal guy there.
Yeah, but they were the forefront of, being able to order stuff that you couldn't get here in America anymore.
A lot of imports.
Yeah, you all had a ton of that stuff that you could get. Now,
We would order whatever people wanted. We could dig it up and find it.
oh yeah,
That was. It's crazy how the music industry is flipped upside down.
right.
since then.
With all the digital stuff. and-
Yeah, I mean this was before MySpace and any of that stuff, So
Absolutely.
now it's everybody's Spotify, and
Right.
there's really no money in that.
Not for musicians that are independent.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate thing about it is that if you're Metallica or you're Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, Taylor Swift, there's money in it for those people, just like radio.
I was reading something where like the biggest Spotify play guy, I think it was like a rap guy maybe, from the biggest one, I think he made $3,000.
Really?
I was just like, man, that's the most played song or something.
That's insane.
It exploded.
I know Metallica at the end of 2019 posted theirs, and they hit from January 1st to December 31st. They hit 1 billion streams.
Really?
On there, and it's like, wow.
I did see Pantera just got 1 billion streams. So
that's insane.
That's the way it's going now. That's the way it is.
Definitely. Do you have a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Oh God, I'm afraid there's certain artists I'm afraid to mention that.
Is it going to ruin the cred?
It's going to ruin the cred. God. I mean, non-metal. I don't know if it's guilty, but I love Nick Cave. I'm a big Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds fan, but I'm proud of that.
I don't know if that could be considered a guilty pleasure. You know, I said ELO.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "That's ELO kicks ass. That's nothing. That's nothing to be a guilty pleasure." And Nick Cave, I'd say, is the same way.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I really like him. There's a few Machine Head albums I like. I know he gets hated on like crazy, but I think he writes some good songs, great guitar player. Just saw him in concert again.
Yeah, like last week.
Yeah. And probably get some shit for that. But I was a big Violence fan anyway. He was a thrash fan before that. So
definitely.
Always gave Machine Head a chance.
I could dig that.
Guitar playing's great in that band. It's the main reason.
What is your greatest achievement as a musician?
Oh, God.
If you could pick one.
I mean, a lot of the bands I've gotten to open for, and playing Bogarts last year was amazing. With Guar, there's over 1,200 people. A lot of them my own victim going to Europe. Right. When albums used to sell, our second album, No Voice, No Rights, No Freedom, sold, I think, over 30,000 copies.
Wow.
And Stonecutters have sold a ton of records. And to be a DIY band like we are, and to sell, I think we've sold, I want to say, 600-700 records on our own.
Right.
Thousands of CDs. I'm pretty proud of that. You know, that's kind of hard in today's market of digital download and the physical, I don't say free, but physical product.
Right.
Is a hard sell. I don't want to say it's hard, but it's a niche market.
When it's $10 from iTunes and you don't have to worry about holding something, it's all right there. It is a hard market to sell physical copies.
I'm personally the weird guy. I'm probably the only one in the world.
No, I know where you're going with this.
That still buys physical and listens. I'm kind of a little physical only. I love it. I love listening to stuff people give me or I buy. I always listen to it. I'm going to jump on the Spotify train. I just keep putting it off. But,
I understand.
I need to do that. I just got so much records and stuff. I came from the record store place era, so I kind of hung on to that a bit. And I know that's kind of long gone now. Well, there's still Guest Room and Underground Sounds record stores.
But, Matt Anthony. Surface Noise and
Surface
Better Days is back.
Yeah. So I venture in there. I like to buy new, used, and new. And I feel like I'm supporting the artist more.
Right. Absolutely. You know? I get it. If heaven or hell exists, what do you want to hear whenever you arrive at wherever you think you're going?
I want to go to hell and hear Slayer.
It'll probably be Taylor Swift.
They're waiting for me, right? It's funny. I teach guitar over here at Guitar Center.
Right.
And that last little boy I was teaching while you're waiting for me, he asked me. He's like, "So do you believe in God?" And he's like, "Just be straight with me." And this kid's like 13.
Right.
And I said, well, to be honest, I'm atheist, agnostic, I would say. And he was like, "I appreciate your honesty." And I asked him back. He's like, "Yeah, my family, we go to church and stuff." Because I told him about, I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Carnegie Museum, and there's dinosaur bones, and there's a lot about evolution. and we were talking about it a bit, and I told him I believe in science. I think everybody hopefully believes in science, but I don't believe the Earth is flat, and I believe in dinosaurs, and I believe this stuff exists. And it's crazy because I grew up, my grandfather was a minister, and my father was pretty hard on me about Jesus and learning that stuff, and it kind of made me go the other route with it. I kind of became intrigued in the other side, so to say. So I don't know if I believe in either. It's just kind of just live my life.
Okay. Well, Brian, is there any shout outs you want to give? We are leaving for tour March 6th. Big East Coast. Well, actually, we're going to Milwaukee area first, outside Milwaukee. And we venture over to like Boston, New York. I think it ends in New York, but we're hitting the East Coast. Last show is at St. Vitus. Nice.
In New York City. So we're gonna end it there and have a great tour.
Good deal.
And I'm excited about it. We're going out with Lich King. They're from Boston area. I think they're kind of different, New England-ish area. I don't think they all live in Boston. But they put on RPM Fest. But we're going out with Lich King, really good thrash band, and Toxic Ruin from Milwaukee area.
Awesome.
Yeah, so those two bands. It's going to be fast thrash awesomeness. We're going to hopefully have a pit every night and everybody go crazy. Chaos.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. So Brian, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
This will be my new sign off. Is we'll see you farther down the road.
Sweet. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. Visit 21st Amendment Tavern, located in the Germantown neighborhood at the corner of Burnett and Shelby. 21st Amendment Tavern has great drinks and amazing food from head chef Andrea Estes. Also at the tavern, the Metal Forge Live is featured with doors at 9 and shows at 10 and just $5. Head on out to 21st Amendment Tavern. Since 1973, Tattoo Charlie's has been an established body modification studio in Kentucky, featuring world-renowned artists and piercers, currently with locations on Preston Highway and in Lexington, a staple point in the tattoo community. Learn more at TattooCharlies.com. Set up your appointment today at 7904 Preston Highway. Our tattoos are done while you wait.